Events are something Roblox unfortunately really hasn't hit the mark on, in my opinion. And while the 7th Annual Bloxy Awards and RDC 2020 were actually pretty decent, most events have either been rather disappointing or not that much to write home about. And again, this is completely my opinion. You might garner enjoyment from the events I don't, and perhaps even vice versa. But there was news about a supposed Wonder Woman event, and I was really looking forward to it. And then I actually got to experience the event, and long story short, I personally didn't enjoy it. It didn't really hold my interest, the monetization was pretty forced, and overall it was just a really tedious game. However, there have been some new updates for the game, including new prizes, quests, and such. So, I guess we should give the game a second look to see if they tweak the event to be more enjoyable. So, here is the Themyscira experience. Once you have entered the game, you start with an actually pretty promising introduction. We get this very welcoming view of the map, paired with an awe-inspiring orchestral piece. I actually really do like it. You know they delivered on the music department, as they usually do and should for events. I mean, I wouldn't say it's anything special, but I just think the music pairs incredibly well with the atmosphere of the game. After this introduction, we actually get to play the game normally, and it's quite packed with freedom as well. You can explore anywhere you want, anytime you want, and you can even complete quests when you want. About that supposed freedom with the quests. Okay, so the way you receive prizes for the game is obtaining and spending this in-game currency called gold coins to purchase the prizes for the game. I'm honestly not too big of a fan of this. I personally would have preferred it if you obtained these prizes via the quests themselves instead of having to buy them with the currency you receive from completing said quests. And that's probably my biggest issue with the game. I don't like how they structured this game. Just imagine yourself playing Egg Hunt 2020 and the way you obtain the eggs are via shop in the egg phone. And you have to spend like egg coins or whatever in order to purchase the eggs. That would be uber lame. So I'm somewhat applying that same logic here. I suppose that this was perhaps an intelligent business decision as they can monetize the game in a better way. See, buying the aforementioned gold coins rather than having to buy some of the prizes. And yeah, I'm being serious, they initially made it so some of the prizes weren't even free. You had to drop Robux for these, and while they're currently doing this with the Sword of Hephaestus and to an extent with the Wonder Woman's Sword and Shield, it's still not the best move in my opinion. And I'm aware they have to make money some way or another, but just not in this way. What are these Robux you speak of? I presume the developers were on a time crunch while crafting this game, which I can understand, but I personally believe it would have paid off if they spent more time on more original quests. There are 5 repeatable quests in this game. The sword quest where you murder hundreds and hundreds of rats, the pickaxe quest where you mine hundreds and hundreds of crystals, the spear quest where you slaughter hundreds and hundreds of eels, a shovel quest where you dig up hundreds and hundreds of buried treasure, and a clam collecting quest? All of these quests can get pretty monotonous after a while, and I wouldn't even try alternating which repeatable quests you should do. The shoveling quest can give you upwards of 1,000 coins, which I'm pretty sure is the biggest amount you can receive from a quest in this game. The clam quest is just kind of whatever. The sword quest is really aggravating because you can't move for a second or so when you try to strike at a rat, which is a problem that persists with all the repeatable quests except for the clams. But it's especially aggravating because these rats sometimes clip into each other, which can make it really hard to keep track of what rat you just hit. The mining quest is alright, and the spirit quest is worse than the mining quest, but still okay. You can weirdly still perform the actions for the quest regardless if you're actually trying to even complete the quest. For example, you can still strike at rats even if you don't have the rat quest in your little tracker of quests. It's really weird. And they also made it where all the actions perform quests take 4 hits. Like, you had to pick at the crystals 4 times when it was originally just a one and done, which is really, really annoying. And as you can probably infer from the monophobia-inducing scenery, I am indeed using a private server to play this game. Moreover, it is possible to upgrade your sword and pickaxe so you can strike at rats faster, for example. I think it takes only 2 hits instead of 4 hits in order to kill rats, and the same for the mining. And I'm pretty sure you can't upgrade the spear or the shovels, so... One more thing I find pretty bad about the repeatable quest is that when you're done with the repeatable quest, you gotta go all the way back to the quest giver just to do it again. In some quests, it's actually not that bad. The rat and crystal quests have their quest givers relatively close to wherever the rats or crystals are at. But, like, for example, with the shovel quest, you gotta go all the way to the near opposite of the map to get another quest, and it can just be really draining. And honestly, some of the actually original quests were just kind of forgettable. Some of the quests were just walk to this location, which I mean is free coins, but I don't feel like I'm accomplishing a quest just by entering an area of the map. I would have really liked to see more of those 2 block throwing segments in the game, and it would have been really cool if they had more segments like that. Maybe even an entire dungeon filled to the brim with these puzzles, and possibly even receiving an item for completing this dungeon. That would be an example of my ideal vision for this game. Also, those vines. Pretty cool gimmick, used like 3 times. They could have had some more challenging segments of this feature. Could have been a quest, could have given you an item. And there's like 2 fetch quests that I wouldn't recommend doing because A, the funds you receive for completing them barely even rivals the shovel quest, and B, the things you're searching for can be like the size of your pinky's fingernail in a map that's like the size of a football field. So like, say if you're a completionist for this game, a person who seeks to complete all the quests in this game, just look it up. The funds you receive for doing these quests are oddly low. I think the most I got for completing one of the non-repeatable quests is like 100 coins, which is indeed enough to buy the Wonder Woman shorts. Moreover, it's not enough to buy like any other prize. The cheapest items, not including the shorts, are Wonder Woman's cloak and the Bracelets of Victory. Even after doing most, if not all, of the original quests, I still didn't have enough funds to purchase either of these items. Oh yeah, speaking of funds, you've probably grown familiar with the whole gold coin shtick, so I presume I can express my displeasure with some of the prices for these prizes. Do these really need to be 8,000 coins each? Does this really need to be 6,000 coins? Why does this royalty R accessory cost more than the same hat, well, besides some coloration and placement differences? That's just with hair. Wouldn't it have been the other way around? 1,000 Robux for this one sword. That's pretty strange. And there's even this item that's just the sword and shield combined, and it costs like 2,000 Robux. Except you can actually get this one with gold coins. Not the sword though, there's no way you can pay for it with gold coins. While some of the prizes were actually pretty appealing for free accessories, I don't know, some of the pricings can be nonsensical. Anyway, I just want to get back to the positives. The map looks really nice, to be real, and it has this distinct look to it. I think this supposed distinct look is primarily from the fact that most, if not the entire game, is built with meshes. I actually didn't even know of this until I watched Zomi's review of this game, and I can't tell if I didn't note this because of sheer ignorance or if it just blended well with the map or something along those lines. But I gotta say, brick building is still a better way of making maps. I guess another visual thing I liked about this game is the fact that the NPC aren't Artho characters. I'm actually very pleased they did this, because as much as Roblox tries to be realistic nowadays, I don't believe Artho fits very well, and I'm usually one of the less egregious critics of Artho. I actually like quite a few of Artho packages, and I'm open to the idea of Roblox being more realistic, but I don't think this is it. And some of the non-repeatable quests were indeed fun. I mentioned the block puzzles earlier. Those are pretty entertaining. The quest where you have to fall off a waterfall is also pretty neat. The gold ball quest is pretty cool, I guess, and for the first few times, the repeatable quest can be thrilling. But yeah, they get boring after you've done them for like the 486th time. And once again, that music, it's awesome. And that's really all I have to say about the gameplay right now. I don't know, I was struggling to find stuff to talk about nearing the end of this script, so I don't think that's a good sign. I'm actually, in fact, really happy they made an original game for this event, but I keep finding myself thinking that it's just kind of boring. So, what can they add for the future of this game? There have been some supposed loose evidence that there could be more content in the future, so here's some of my ideas. For one, I think they should start giving prizes away with proper objectives. Maybe not the one that we have in the game right now, but maybe the prizes that might come out sooner or later. And speaking of prizes, I think it would be swell if we can get the sword, shovel, spear, and pickaxe as prizes we can actually wear on our avatars. While there is a lot of swords in the avatar shop, there's almost no accessories for shovels, spears, or pickaxes. I don't know if this will be possible because I don't think these items fit the branding of the event, but I still think it would be cool if they try to get these as prizes anyways. That's all I have to say about future prizes though. I'm not familiar with the source material of this game at all, so that's the best I can come up with. One last thing I wish they can improve on is to make the Sword of Hephaestus available for coins and Robux. Much like they did with the Wonder Woman sword and shield, it feels weird that this is the only accessory I have to pay Robux to get, and I probably won't get it because it's grossly overpriced. Now, the part I've been waiting to talk about, probably the most important part of events besides the event themselves. The prizes. There are a total of 17 prizes you can achieve in this game, and all of them are free except for the aforementioned Sword of Hephaestus. I do in fact like the Wonder Woman shorts a lot. You don't see Roblox giving clothes as event prizes anymore, and I'm glad to see that they're bringing this back. Whether or not they wish to continue this is up to Roblox themselves. All of the back accessories look pretty great, however 3 of them have this like weird null space between the back of your avatar and the item. Besides that, legendary free accessories. I also like all the hairs, the lasso of truth, and the royal tiara. But that's all for the prizes I actually find enjoyment in. The rest I think are okay, but have some pretty fatal flaws. All the armor looks alright, but they just do not tell me what package you need to utilize to avoid clipping errors. It would have helped if they inserted this information in the descriptions of the items, but they just don't. So you kind of just have to mess around your inventory to find the packages that the armor was designed for. So if you're facing with this problem, I'll try to help you out. Wonder Woman's classic armor looks best on the Lindsay bundle. Wonder Woman's silver armor looks best on Robloxian 2.0. Wonder Woman's armor looks best on the Roblox Girl bundle. Themyscira armor looks best on the Cindy package or the Skylar package. It doesn't matter which one you use since they both have the same torso, legs, and arms. Wonder Woman's armored skirt looks best on Robloxian 2.0 or the Girl package. Either one looks fit for the item. And last and not least, the Bracelets of Victory fit no avatar because they're kind of bad. I saw in game that the Roblox Woman package was wearing these types of bracelets on their arms. It would have been cool if they transferred that over to a package of some sort. I don't know if that's possible to do, but I think it would have paid off instead of whatever this was. Not the worst prize ever, it's certainly not no Nerf zombie mask, but it's still not so quality. So, that's the prizes for this game. I wouldn't say they're the best prizes ever made, but they weren't the worst, and I actually quite liked a few of the items. I would personally try getting some of these accessories if you're willing to put forth the time, but if you're on a busy schedule or something like that, I don't think I would recommend it. And there we have it. Everything I plan to cover has been covered. This event, I would say, was a pretty mixed bag, but I do appreciate the efforts that went to making a completely original game just for this event. It could have just been another event that takes place in a handful of selected games, but they persisted on making an original game, and I really do respect that. However, the monotonous feel of the game keeps it from being all that fun. So, in conclusion, I think this event was pretty... They just do not tell you what packing... Oh my gosh, I don't... Sorry, I'm getting heated.